strange.
Or the champagne shower, just a full facial. That's all I could think about. Like, he just took it. He just sat there and took it. He just took his facial right there for no reason.
Oh, heavens. I mean, with champagne.
Like, do it, Godfather.
Stop. Oh, no. This has turned the wrong direction.
Jerry.
What up, Challenge fans? We are Final Alliance Podcast. We just finished watching episode 6 of the Challenge All-Stars Season 3, titled Revenge of the All-Stars. Jaybird, what do you think this week?
I told you. They're going to make the turn. And I do believe they're making that turn in the right way.
Agreed.
It's showing promise. And I guess I shouldn't say that. But it was a good episode. And we knew that they know what they're doing. I couldn't help myself but to sit there and say, like, I'm telling you guys, foreshadowing, where this is going to happen. And right away, I'm like, oh, boy, this is going to happen. And we're going to talk about what's going to happen.
I got kind of tripped up a little bit on the foreshadowing.
Okay.
So it starts, she who shall not be named is no longer there because John A. beat her.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. Now we can just pretend that was like a weird, bad dream. Move on with our lives.
Yep.
Move on with the season. And then also Wes had won as well.
Mm-hmm.
John A. says right away, vibes feel better in here.
Yeah.
Probably.
I felt better.
Right.
My vibes watching it felt better, so
Right?
I agree
It's like,
with
it's
everything.
fun.
You and I are paddling in the same boat, Janae. Yeah.
They hit us with some old school Usher when they're walking in.
Yeah.
Which I like that. I was like, all right,
I
good
do
start
wanna
on the
talk about
music.
some of that music. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I did like that. Yeah.
Then Kayla, Sylvia are talking to John A. in the kitchen. Sylvia said something about the sabotage, and Johnny's like, well, you're not going to use it on me. And she's like, no. And then you see Kellyanne like all by herself.
Yeah.
And it's very alluded that they're going to use it on Kellyanne.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a phone call, and it's Kellyanne with her boyfriend, now fiance. She said that he's her fiance now when she was on Challenge, the official Challenge podcast a couple weeks ago. And this is where I got tripped up. Like, I see her, and I'm like, this means she's going home. This means she's going home.
I thought this too, like big red flags. I'm like, we have to talk about this. Like, did you Google this? Yes.
Right away, I'm like, she's getting a phone call very early in the episode. She's going home.
No, it's not about that. Like what she said in the thing, like whatever.
Oh, her health, right?
What is that metal?
Heavy metal and mold poisoning.
Yeah, heavy metal poisoning is like too much Quiet Riot in her life or whatever else.
Quiet Riot. I don't think that's heavy metal.
Oh, Quiet Riot's definitely heavy metal. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. No. What's heavy metal to you?
Like, I don't know. Stuff that Charlie listens to, like Pantera.
I don't know. I mean, if we're throwing
Megadeth.
it back, what is Quiet Riot then?
I don't know, like more
they
chill.
even had a song. It was mental health will drive you mad.
Aren't they the come on, feel the noise?
Yeah, but
that's not
one song. That's one song.
Okay, that's the song I know.
Yeah, but then there's
and love Dee Snider on like all the reality TV shows that he did.
Dee Snider
isn't he in Quiet Riot?
No,
what band am I thinking about? Okay.
Yeah, but you had the right song.
Okay, I don't know why I was thinking he was in that band.
Mental health,
heavy metal poisoning,
and then
mold poisoning.
Yeah, that I thought the same thing. That's when I was like, first things first. I'm like, Klinger, Google everything, whatever this is that she has, and she's going.
Sounds
home.
awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard of people getting mold poisoning and being very sick.
Because it was, you know what else is weird is we were all like waiting for her boyfriend, I guess soon to be fiance, to go. Think you have COVID? Like we've all had that conversation. Like I have a cough, I don't feel well,
right?
I got my sore throat, and it's not. And everyone goes, think you have COVID? Like that's what I was waiting for. Instead, she's like, no, I have mental health poisoning. I don't know.
Heavy metal and mold poisoning.
Yeah, and
it sounds awful.
Yeah, well, she said she had she has comebacks of or whatever else, but yeah. And then
probably I would imagine that like humid climate maybe.
And just one more time, which we're gonna see a lot, what she would do with the money.
I would hear about the dog sanctuary all the time. So I am like all in with her on her dog sanctuary.
Okay.
And
Wait,
she's responded to me a couple times on the Insta, which has been very nice. And she's always posting about like, I'm going to find a foster.
Someone's got a crush.
I'm going to find a foster for this dog. Like, I love it. We're dog people. Come on.
What we're going to do with this money. Just, yeah. All right.
So anyway, I thought it was foreshadowing of bad
metal.
news.
What is heavy metal poisoning?
Well, I should have Googled. Shame on me.
Okay.
Shame on me.
Yeah. We'll get to it.
He's going to Google for us.
Sure.
Thanks, producer, husband. Love you.
Anyway, yes. So
then it goes right into MJ icing his knee. And he's talking about how he played college football. And I was like, this is foreshadowing.
Which one is it? Because you've never heard this before? Because he loves to drop that he played a football at Vanderbilt. Like, he's done it since like day one of his real world challenge, everything else. Yeah, he's always talked about it. What?
Wasn't he on Real World Philadelphia? I think he was.
The only thing, all right, we'll talk about it later.
I had forgotten that that's where he played football, and then I looked it up last week. But I see him icing his knee, though, and he's talking about his knee, so that I'm also like, foreshadowing.
Yeah, this is an interesting scene for me. It really was.
Then you got Brad, Derek, and Mark eating, and Brad's just like, I don't even know. Maybe he's not even hurt, because when he talked to Mark, he said my knee really wasn't bad. And he's like, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point if like all of a sudden he takes off the knee brace and he just like runs normal. And then he does make sure he's like, I know he's actually injured. Sure. But I thought that was pretty funny.
This was at the one point where I was like, I feel bad for MJ. Not is he getting picked on, but I'm like, I get it. It sucks when you kind of feel like you're getting, thrown in or you're getting sabotaged. I did have a little bit here, and I'm so glad that I flipped right away as this episode went on. But
so you like no longer felt bad for him?
No, not one bit. And we'll talk about it more later. But I really was like, oh, that's got to suck. When you kind of feel like everyone's not really with you.
Well,
you haven't created
awful.
any like, and it's
it's not like he like was mean to people. He's a very charismatic and nice person.
No, but if you watch enough of his like confessionals, one-on-ones, where he sits there and just goes, "Well, I'm a returning champion," and I'm like, he kind of brings it on himself. He does not create any allies at all. He does not do any politicking or anything. It's just like, oh, they're all just afraid of me, and he talks out of both sides of his mouth. I had enough of him this episode.
Okay, well, he was so much screen time this episode for sure. We go into the challenge, and it's called Stacked. I liked this one.
Yeah, me too.
I liked the multi-steps. I thought there was a lot of good stuff, and it was kind of an equalizer. Like, I wasn't sure who was going to take it. At least not for the women. For the men, like, you can kind of assume. I mean, Brad's been winning, like, all of them, maybe a Jordan.
There's a way to go. It starts with 7 in each heat, right?
Right. So it's 2 heats of 7, which it's the men and the women. So there's 14 people left at this point. You run to a board, and you have to scratch a 4-digit code. Praise the Lord that they had an ice scratcher, like a scratcher this time. You know, in previous seasons where they just had to use their fingernails?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the worst.
There was one where it was like a group challenge, and Bananas was on that one, and they had to like.
Oh, thank you so much for reminding me. I remember even listening to Bananas' podcast he brought up one time, and I'm cringing right now. Like that's do you know how long that's underneath your nails for how? How long? That's not days. You're looking at months, like whatever. So they have a scraper or whatever else.
Praise the Lord on that
one. Code to get the lock, but
So then. Once you get your code, you run to a paddle, do the code, untangle it from the chain, get your paddle board. Then you paddleboard out to get a bag of puzzle pieces, paddle back, then put your puzzle together.
We go 7-5-3.
That's correct. I like that as well. I like when they do it this way. So it was like 7 people start, then to move on to the next round, there's only 5 oars. Then the puzzles, there's only 3.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought that was good.
Same. Yeah. One thing that I just in my head just right now at this moment, I was surprised that Mark was one of the people that didn't get his oar.
Yeah, and they don't really give any.
And I don't even know who the other man was. And MJ.
Yeah, MJ, and he was just like, okay, let's go to the sabotage. Let's go to sabotage
Correct.
because Mark has to give the sabotage, and he's gonna give it to MJ. But he's like, okay, did anyone want to volunteer? And MJ's like, I'll do it. And what MJ's doing is trying to be like, make it be like, I had sabotage, so I shouldn't go in or don't pick me or whatever else. And that's Brad's side of it, I guess. And I think that's where I kind of turn. I'm like, this is not right. And then,
but I liked MJ's perspective in his interview where he said, look, I'm probably going to end up going into a elimination. I don't want to blow my knee out trying to run on the beach.
But he also was kind of alluding to like, maybe if people will just be like, oh, you had this. And then Sylvia gives it to, not Kellyanne, gives it to
John A.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
I actually
originally
thought her reasoning was a good idea.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a puzzle. We all saw what happened in episode 1 or 2 with the puzzle with Kellyanne kind of melting down.
Yeah. It was,
and it's like she gets nervous in these situations from what I just saw probably a week and a half ago. So she's not going to be someone that I'm going to have to worry about winning. But John A., on the other hand, is someone I'm going to have to worry about winning. And everybody else I'm working with, and except for Naya and whatever about Naya is how she's feeling, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And that's probably who I would have sabotaged as well.
Yeah. So going back to the paddleboard, they have to put these blocks and build a star, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. There's a star, and then blocks of different sizes, kind of like, I don't know, Lincoln Logs-ish.
Sure. That's dating. I mean,
I
got it. But
I listened to somebody else's podcast today, Angel Cake. He called them Lincoln Logs.
Okay.
Just to giving him a little shout out.
But they have to be the same size, the same level, because then you have to put the star and then do the next one. All the colors have to match.
Right.
So green, red, and white.
Yellow.
Yellow. Okay.
I think there was yellow.
I'm colorblind. 76%
Are you really?
of men are colorblind in some way. I can't tell the difference between black and navy blue.
I feel like that's a lot of people.
It's
well,
very
76%.
76%. Look, men can't dress themselves. We know that. That's why you can just sit there and say that. 76% of men are colorblind.
Okay.
I mean, go tomorrow.
I'm so sorry.
Just go walk. It's all right. What? I can tell the difference between a red light and a green light. I'm good. I can drive.
That's good. Otherwise, you could just probably memorize the order.
Maybe.
Because it's like green on the bottom, yellow in the middle, red on top.
I'm not saying what degree or whatever else. I'm not. There might be people that can't even see that or whatever.
Well, Cyrus said he is, and with that one puzzle,
there you
all
go.
the colors that looked really rough. So anyway, going into the men's heat, men take off running. Jordan is killing it in the running.
Mm-hmm.
Brad's up there as well. Everybody except for MJ and Mark get to the paddle boards. Derek is the first one, I think, to get his oar undone.
I believe so, yes. Yep, yeah.
And it just didn't really go as fast on the paddle boarding as...
No, and then he gets passed by Brad. But then there was an exchange between Jordan and Derek.
Right. I think Derek was sitting and he was trying to kind of turn around, and Jordan's already ready to go. And he's like, something like, get the F out of my way.
Yeah, that's something like, I'm pretty sure that get the F out of my way, Derek. Yeah. So, yeah.
And gets to the final three, which is Jordan, Brad, and
Jordan, Derek. Yeah.
And Brad just puts it together like boop, 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 boop.
Yeah.
No big deal. Then they have these interesting moments where Derek jumps through. I hate puzzles. And then Brad kicks. Oh, we forgot about the magic moment of our besties.
What's that?
Nehemiah and Wes getting stranded.
Oh yeah, that
was
played
Enya only time.
I know, that was interesting. He's like, well, we're out, so we're not gonna get it, so we're just gonna soak it in here in this river, and we're gonna paddle. And
that might have been a better choice for Modest Mouse float on at that point instead of later.
That's a different. Yeah, that might be a new category of different.
Where could this song have
different
gone?
Needle drop that we?
But I mean, I still chuckled. It was cute. Yeah. Women's heat. They start us with Ice Cube. You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just love that. Just saw them or Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg like a month ago in concert, and when that song came on, I was so excited. I was excited to hear it in this show too.
Yeah.
Did we talk about what the sabotage was though?
It was an extra. No, we didn't. But it's an extra lock. I mean, it was. When you're scraping that off, like you said, production probably had to come in and be like, well, now here's your thing with 2 numbers or whatever else. But it was just an extra lock.
I would have assumed a time penalty.
Yeah. Now you just have to, instead of 4-digit code for the lock, you have to memorize 2 4-digit codes. I don't really think it was that big of a deal. But
I don't think it slowed down John A. at all.
No, not one bit. Not at all. MJ didn't care. John A. She did not. Yeah, there's a difference there. MJ was just like, I'm going in. I get it. Basically, but yeah, I don't think it was that big of a deal.
Mm-mm. And then Veronica got her code backwards, which was so weird because I was like, oh, this will be something that she's going to excel in. She can do
said,
this, like, no big
felt
deal.
so confident that I knew my number, that my lock wasn't working. That's what she said. She goes, I feel so confident. But
it's like she read it upside down or something.
Yeah. And so, weird thing is.
And then Sylvia also didn't make it.
Yeah. She said, I'm from the Midwest. I should be good at this.
Right.
Which is funny. We've all been there, whatever else. But she couldn't find the number. And honestly, would you ever expect that thing to be dead in the middle? Like they're all scraping right in the middle.
It seemed like it was the corners.
Yeah, they're
and
always
like every
in the
single
corner,
one.
But they're all like going in the middle and working their way out. Like, well, why wouldn't you just? It's like, I don't know. You work across. I mean,
like it's your windshield.
Yeah.
Just
not a crossword. You work a jigsaw puzzle. You get the borders and work your way in, right?
Oh, that's
like
a good point.
Hard down, whatever. But hey, I wasn't there. But yeah, Sylvia and Veronica are out. They didn't get to their paddle.
So then we have Naya, Ronnie, John A, Kellyanne, and God, I just watched this. Why do I not remember?
Kayla.
And Kayla.
And this is where you get Kellyanne.
She's like, I have like 2 paddle boards. I do this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like not a big deal. And we're like, I
got
got so excited.
Yeah, everyone goes, oh,
because
snap,
she's kind of
it's
an
on.
underdog,
Yeah,
like with the treehouse. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's
oh
like
my God.
the Princess Bride. I'm not left-handed.
I am not left-handed.
So she's like, like, wait, why are you
I
so
know something you don't know.
Yeah, what's that? I have 2 paddle boards at home. What does that mean? It means I'm really, really good. So I'm going to take over after this. Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. I loved it. She did. She like smoked everybody. Then we come to the puzzle and it's John A, Kelly, and Ronnie, which again, this sabotage didn't like John A was still right in there.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't do much. So
yeah, it didn't benefit like the treehouse. And here is, well, first of all, we see Wes giving her like tips as she's running in.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really nice. I guess they used to date back in the day. I'd forgotten about that. And I thought that was really nice. But one thing I did think about was Wes didn't get to that point.
Yeah, so
it's like you're giving tips from like something you saw, because it looked like they were quite a ways away. Something you saw from a distance.
That, again.
But it was nice.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything bad, but that's all. Just sticking your nose or whatever else. And also thinking, like, I don't want my name in there, so I'm going to give tips to the person I think is going to win.
Oh, could be.
That's got to be frustrating for that win to pick up, though. That's the one thing.
Oh, right?
That was the one thing where I'm like,
it didn't look like there was any win for the men.
None. But the guys actually like picked up. They're like, we're trying to block the wind.
Oh, that was cute.
So,
well, yeah, because she got almost all the way there. She puts the top on there, and all of a sudden, gust of wind, and the top goes off. And you're like, okay, she can save it, and then the rest of it goes, and it's like just starting right at the beginning.
And you're waiting for the meltdown that happens. And it was
for
even
sure.
said, was it Nehemiah that said, he's like, here comes Jordan. Here comes the typical, So,
and I even kind of was. I was like, I would be having a hard time at this point. Like, she's like, I've been really trying to keep it together, like this whole puzzle, because this isn't my thing. And then then that happens. It's like I probably would have been like, or at least, yelled some frustrations. Ronnie's really close. Kellyanne is just kind of plugging away, trying to get back. And Ronnie looks like she has it. They keep zooming in on this piece that she has at the bottom that she just missed, which that's happened to people many times. I think CT that happened to at one point.
I think it's, there's been multiple times where you've been in we're going to say the arena, but you know what I'm saying, the Inferno or whatever else, where there's been a piece or you didn't grab one thing.
Poured it out. Yeah. It's on at your feet instead of on the,
It happens. Take a look around, yeah.
And, that really sucked for her, but I was so happy for Kellyanne. I was so insanely happy for her. And I also knew that this was going to mean a shakeup in the house.
Yeah.
And so she's celebrating. She's happy. And Sylvia says something to Kayla.
Yeah.
She says, when I act like that, when I win, just shoot me.
If I act like that when I win, just shoot me in the face or something. Yeah. I think maybe she should just shoot me. But later
on,
I
added the
face. Yeah, that's right.
But when I act like that, when I win, just shoot me.
Yeah.
And Nia hears it, and you could see Nia's face, like, it's kind of uncalled for, but she doesn't say anything at the time.
Yeah.
And then at that point, well, first of all, Brad and Kellyanne win. TJ informs us that the last 2 sabotages they get to use. So there's not going to be any more sabotages after next episode.
Yeah, they have the last 2.
So we're close to the end. Then we have our Modest Mouse Float On. Love that song. One of my favorites. Kellyanne, Nia, and John A are talking. And this is where Kellyanne says, I heard she made like a face when I won. And Nia's kind of like, no. Here's what she said. And that was pretty much all that she needed. And I get it. It's like, I was happy. I was happy. Like, why are you trying to like bring me down for no reason? Like, I didn't do anything to you.
That's what she said. She did say that. She's like, I don't know, like, bring me down or my good vibes.
Dull
or
my sparkle or something.
Like, you know what? She's like, I have my back against the wall. And I understood all of that. And then it turned into like this thing like, now I'm just pissed, whatever. I mean, she said other things, but she's like vengeful or whatever. Good
Vindictive.
For her. Vindictive. Good for her. That's the way it went. So, oh, wow.
And Nia's like, yeah, F the treehouse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then I'm like, oh, this is going to be good.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Phone call Sylvia with her stepson talking about his grades.
Okay. I mean, good.
I mean, it's showing that she has a life outside of here.
Yeah, of course. She's got a husband, stepson, and what she could do with the money. Yeah, that's just a filler. It's good. That's awesome. But
it didn't. I would like to say that would like make me more like, aw. And while I do like that's great, for her, I was already so frustrated about what she'd said that I was like,
yeah, she's gonna say worse. That's
she is gonna say worse.
So I mean, I get what it is. It's humanizing her when she's not in the game,
right?
But villainizing her when she is in the game.
Yeah,
that's all. And I don't know. I don't care. Yeah, your stepson. Every kid's gonna like do something about grades. Be like, boy, trying to do whatever me. Like, great, you got an email, and now this is what you're doing with your time. Like, just grab your husband and be like, your son, his grades are off. Like, go do it. Like, come on. It was humanizing her, but villainizing her. That's what it was. So.
Nehemiah informs us it's a birthday party. Him and I think 7 people I saw were blowing out the cake. It was their birthday.
Yeah.
They played 50 Cent in the club.
Mm-hmm.
I had to relook it up because I'm like, it's your birthday. I'm like, it's in the club, and then it's in the club.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 7 people's birthday. What I took away from the party was there was so much confetti. There was so much confetti. And, like, I'm thinking, if this is my house, like, I have to clean this all up.
Yeah.
And then Mark sprayed Derek with champagne, and I'm like, oh, God, that floor must be so
sticky. That was a little bit much. The facial, everything else, yeah.
But they were having fun. Then Sylvia and Kellyanne are talking. And this conversation goes terribly. Like, probably the worst it could have gone.
I've seen this conversation 100 times. This is exactly the way it's supposed to go. And I'm sorry if I'm going to intertwine the Big Brother house, but you do this. And then when someone offers you an alliance, you say yes. And Kellyanne's right. She gave me nothing. Who is it that I should go for?
Well, and first of all, their body language. Did you see their body language?
Yeah, I mean, they were...
Like, Sylvia was kind of like here. And then Kellyanne was more like back like this. It was like... Kellyanne, I think, at one point said something about, like, she's trying to, like, pull a power move on me or something like that. And it did kind of feel that way. Like, Sylvia's, like, pleading her case to her. I know I'm one of the possible people, and she's like, well, like, you haven't really been nice to me. And she's like, I've been trying. And she goes, well, yeah, but then you just today said that. And it could have been edited, but it's just
I'm glad she called her out. And
me too. I'm so glad she called her out. But it's like, it could have been edited, but it's like, it didn't look like Sylvia did a darn thing to be like, I'd be like, look, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I was mad I lost.
Sylvia cast the line and said, well, actually, which one? Kellyanne might have done it. Said, like, we can work together. And Sylvia's like, yes. But no one really took the bait and ran with it. No one. So
because she said she wanted Naya, because Sylvia said, oh, I wish she would put Naya in because Naya doesn't have endurance. Mm-hmm. And Kellyanne's like, no, she's been nothing but nice to me. Like,
yeah, there's no reason
she
for it.
said,
if you're working together, you go,
not the way to handle me.
Let's keep going. Let's pick out a new name and let's figure it out. Let's compromise. First things first, do we have any common enemies? Because common enemies create great allies.
True.
And nope. Can we get to a compromise? Now, are you willing to throw Veronica under the bus? No? Okay, well, what's next in line? Because it's what I want to do. And we'll compromise. And no one will ever know we're working together and we can work together. That's all you got to do. And that's where Kellyanne was going with it. But she really wasn't giving her anything.
No.
And Kellyanne was right to go, she gave me nothing.
Right.
So, and then they say, we're going to talk about tomorrow. And you know what else I thought? They're not talking about it first thing in the morning. I don't care what production is, if they do whatever else. They're like, oh my God, I wish I could see what they talked about over yogurt and blueberries in the morning. They did not talk in the morning. That was, we're not talking the rest of the night.
It did kind of feel like, and maybe there was a conversation. Like, if there was, I would love to hear what happened in that conversation. But it felt kind of like you run into this girl that you didn't like, but maybe you had mutual friends, so you had to be around each other several times. You see them somewhere, and you do the quick, like, catch up, but nobody really cares. And then it's like, oh my God, we should so meet for drinks and catch up. Oh, I'd love to. And then you both walk away, and you're like, that's not going to happen.
Like, you roll your eyes, you look, and you're like, never going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
that's kind of how it felt.
Yes, there was no way that was going to happen. So it doesn't surprise me that they sit down and Kellyanne and Brad. And I do like this exchange. I think Brad's a little goofy over the whole thing. And he's trying to... I think Brad's very paranoid player.
I'm getting that a little bit based on last week.
And Kellyanne just kind of like, what do you want to do? And he keeps going on. And she's like, you want me to just play my game and I'm not going to step on your game? Fine, we're going to do this, yeah.
I did take that differently.
Okay.
They sit down. What do you want to do? She said, I'm pretty open on the men, but I'm not open on the women. And he's like, well, that doesn't really work. Like, for us working together. It's like, so we need to compromise.
How do I strangle myself?
I don't.
So
that's not how he sounds.
I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to get there. Just give me a second.
So you want me to totally agree with everything you say, and then you want a piece of the man.
Cartoon character is this?
That's what Brad sounds like.
No, he does not.
Okay.
I love his voice.
I think he does. So you want me to totally
You're so
agree
red.
with everything, girl.
You're like really red.
Well, you have to strangle yourself to do this. Just stop. So you want me to agree with everything on the girl side, but you want to have a say in the men's side. I don't know how this is good for my game.
Yeah, it's not working. Sorry, I apologize. Apologize to everybody listening.
You really went for it.
I tried, yeah. But I understood where he was getting, but then again, I didn't understand where he was getting. Like, she was just kind of like, the whole time she was like, yeah, you pick the guy, yeah, I'll pick the girl.
I think it's the thought process of blood on the hands. He's like, if you don't want to budge on the women and I don't want to budge on the men, like, it's not going to work. Yeah. So we should just play our own game.
I don't think there was anything that he owed to anybody on the female side at all.
It appears him and Kayla have become kind of friends because, I don't know, they've been winning and stuff.
Kind of friends? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, he's super tight with all the guys
Do you know what he was going to do with that money?
though. Extra good life for him and his kids.
Yeah, because he hasn't been working since the
Oh
pandemic.
my God, stop.
So
yes, he has.
Kind of friends thing doesn't really
Since
matter.
now,
When,
at least.
I know what everyone's going to do with the money by now. All right, so like, kind of friends don't weigh out that way. Like, oh, they're kind of friends. So
Well, I mean, if potentially she got into authority to save
Sure.
him later or whatever.
potentially, do you know what he's going to do with the money? Just sorry. It's like they're not kind of friends. He's got.
I don't know. I
They
don't
all
know.
have plans for the money.
I
They don't care. They're going to be asked back next year,
he was just
next season.
anyway. So you got me lost. Lose my train of thought.
So they're together. Yeah.
You see that he puts a ponytail holder in his
Yeah,
beard
I did
sometimes.
see that.
That I don't care for.
No,
Not into that.
I'm not a fan of his beard. He's a beardo to me, and I did not like that thing at all. But yeah. But sorry, I know I went off on another weird tangent of things. Yes, they're together, and they're basically like, she's like, I'm gonna. Oh, she never says who. He says he's gonna put an MJ. She's like, yeah, I'm fine with that.
She's thinking Sylvia or Kayla.
Yeah. Then they walk in.
Right. Oh, and you remember a couple episodes, I was like, I know that at some point this is going to happen where the woman or women, because it was the authority, like the whole group back then, get to pick for the women and the men for the men. So I'm kind of glad that my prediction came true.
And this is going to, when they walk in to tell them, this is going to start one of the weirdest exchanges consistently for the rest of the show between MJ and Brad. So,
Well, MJ already earlier in the episode said that Brad had a hard on for him.
yeah, he doesn't know why or whatever else. But I mean, how about you just stop walking around telling everyone that you're a season champion and that you're a competitor, an ultimate competitor, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, again, I had like that small moment where I'm like, oh man, I think I'm back in MJ here or whatever else. And now, not at all. So, yeah.
They go and tell MJ he's going in, and MJ is all like super chill about it. They fist pump, whatever.
Yeah, nothing against you, brother. Like, yeah,
Right,
here
like
we go.
everything
Yeah,
is,
we
like,
can't wait
super
to see
chill.
you compete. You're gonna be great. And he's like, bad call, Brad. I get to pick whoever I want. A hole. What?
Which that is a good point.
Yeah.
When you at least like then you're going in and you get to pick who you're going to go against.
And that's the thing, how the game actually does work, because now Derek or Mark, your allies go, whoa, or Nehemiah, Wes. I mean, he's tight with all of them. Go, whoa, dude.
The only guy that he's not like super close to is Jordan,
Mhm.
and he said in this episode that he didn't really like that he was kind of when MJ had the authority how they voted in Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there's nobody else for him to pick.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still putting your friends in the line of fire.
True.
But that's the way
There's
the
no
game
other way to
goes. And you
go.
just go, hey, I have to do it. So yeah, and then they go in and they tell.
Sylvia,
Jeez,
she's doing her
this is-
makeup,
Oh my gosh.
and she's upset. Caleb's upset.
You remember last week when I was dropping all cliches, and I'm like, how many cliches did I drop? There she is, and she's like, and her eyes are watering, and she's like, not, like, I'm not crying. And she's like, well, I guess I'm going to go in, and I'm going to come back and do everything else. Her eyes are watering. She's dropping all the cliches and whatever else, how tough she's going to be, and like, it's not.
She's like, I'm not,
but if it doesn't happen, you guys
Oh,
come back and do everything.
She says, in her interview, she says, I know in my bones I can make it to this final.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says to the tree house or whoever all was in that room, I don't know if Ronnie was there or not. She says, y'all bees better step on Kellyanne's effing throat
Yeah.
if I don't come back. I thought that was a little far.
Well,
I know she was joking, but like I thought that was a little far.
it was a way to cover up, like, she was emotional that she went in. Like, she was
Right.
obviously emotional. Go back and look at it. She is welling up in tears, and she's trying to come up with all that stuff. She's like, you guys go do it.
And she's
I'm
got her
like,
beauty blender.
what you're worried about? You're worried about it now. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Well, no one wants to go in.
No.
And of course, she's kicking herself because she's like, second guessing who she should have put. She was in power a couple days ago. And then she had the sabotage, and she, her bestie has been saying she picked the wrong person. Obviously, it didn't work out, and now here she's going in.
Yeah. whatever.
It's quite a tables turned in a couple of days situation.
That's the way the game works.
We go into the arena, and then Kellyanne has one right back. She says, well, I did wear black for Sylvia's funeral.
Yep.
That was kind of funny. Sylvia, you're thinking the whole time, I was thinking the whole time that she's going to go with Johnny. Because there's nobody else for her to pick from. There's, Naya, but, everybody else is the treehouse otherwise. So it's
Okay.
between Johnny and Naya. And she sees that it's a puzzle. And she's like, no.
I'm not going to take the defending champion. I'm going to take Nia.
Right.
But she already said that she didn't have the stamina or whatever else. But I didn't see this as a big deal. Honestly, I knew it was one of the two, and I actually thought it was a good pick.
Yeah, I agree.
So-
That's probably who I would have picked.
Yeah.
And just because I haven't really seen enough of her in that kind of stuff.
So this one's called Star or something, or
Revenge of the All-Stars.
no. This the
it
arena
is called Starstruck.
Starstruck. There you go.
Oh, and MJ picks Derek. Simple choice because Derek's not so great at puzzles. He has just yelled about it last.
And Derek is like,
20
I'm
minutes.
blindsided by this. I'm so mad. I'm like, oh, calm down. And they're like, how do you do this? Like, what did he want him to pick?
I don't know. Right. Like,
Mark? I thought maybe, but they act like it's over the top. And then, what do we have? We have Heart and Soul by, I believe, Tapau.
that one I didn't know.
Oh, I was very excited. I believe it's Tapau with T''Pau.
How's that one go?
How the song goes?
Yeah.
Is this like an internet
No, I
thing? Like,
don't
give me some-
remember.
You know exactly how
No,
the song
but which
goes.
one was it? And I kind of want you to sing.
Give a little bit of
Oh,
heart
okay,
and
yes.
soul.
Okay.
Give a little-
Okay.
I believe this actually came out about 1987, so it's not the 90s or whatever else, but I think it's Tapau.
You're very like married to these songs have to be from the 90s. No, they don't.
Yeah, I like the song. I was like, this is a good song. I don't know why the song has not been covered yet by somebody, but yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So I like this. I like this one.
Equalizing kind of arena. I thought immediately, I'm like, well, this is gonna be good for MJ's knee.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a problem.
Oh, by the way, I don't need this nose to nose thing,
like the WWE
the
or the UFC.
UFC. Like, I don't need this. Like, we're going to black and white. They're going to be nose to nose, and someone's taller than the other, or whatever else. Like, ugh. No, I do think
I think Derek really, really likes WWE and stuff. So I think he was like, let's do it.
I'm sure, but I actually think, like, I was trying to read his lips with MJ, and I think he was kind of saying the same things he did in confessionals, like, you're doing me wrong, like, you're calling me out, like, for no reason, like, that you're a dirty player, whatever. But
Just getting himself fired up.
yeah, but I don't need that. I don't need the.
And I'm just kind of like,
It goes back to last season when we were all the flexing. We're like, well, let's not do
Oh,
that.
God.
When Devin was doing, like, I don't want to see Devin flex. Like, it's not good. Yeah.
or the one season where they did like the Power Rangers.
So I don't need to see the tail of the tape, like, oh, we just weighed in. Now we're just going to stare at each other for a photo op. That one, it bothered me. But anyway, back to the arena.
So it's Starstruck. So it's a vertical maze. There are 3 star cutouts on, this pole. You have to free your pole.
Mm-hmm.
Once you free the pole, I feel like I'm saying pole a lot. Once you free the pole, it's going to release a ball, and then you essentially shuffleboard it in the sand into a mouse hole.
Pool, yeah. Or pool shot.
Okay.
Cute, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Women go first.
Uh-huh.
I think Sylvia thought she had this like no problem.
Sure, yeah.
Nia gets it out first. Ball drops. Sets it up. First shot. It seemed like it was quick.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like it was very fast.
Yeah.
Too. Just that's it.
Yeah.
Kellyanne says, "Sorry, Syl."
Oh, boy.
Sylvia's like, "Kelly, F off."
Yep, F you. Again, one more time, she said she can eat,
I
eat
forgot
the
to
S
say. I forgot to say what she said. Something.
with a side of gluten.
Yeah, Kellyanne can
Can-
eat S with an extra side of gluten.
Yep.
She said that earlier.
And then she said, I said it before, I'll say it again. Kellyanne can eat S. That's what she says on her, goodbye confessional. So, all right.
Men go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It seems like it's going fine, and then MJ takes a wrong turn, and then he's kind of going back. Derek gets freed pretty quickly, but it takes Derek several more tries to get the ball in the mouse hole. And Brad mentions all the divots because, every time he retrieves the ball, then he's putting a bunch of, footprints in it, divots. And there's a lot of talk about the divots.
Yeah, he says divots quite a bit.
Like 4
but
times.
You know what? It's
a good point.
He's right. And this will be no shocker to anyone listening or watching us on YouTube. Neither one of us have been in a challenge or an arena.
No,
but,
sir.
I do feel like we would all be smart enough to be like, walk your feet around and pick up the ball and go back.
Or just was there a rule that you couldn't just take your feet and straight, get the sand
or
straight?
Or look at MJ back and be like, you know what? I'm going to straighten this
right,
whole
just
thing.
I'm just going to
I'm going to clear this path. And I thought at that point, honestly, if I marked out at something, it would have been that I'm like, oh, he's going to lose this because too much.
Right.
Too much divots. But,
got it on probably his 6th try.
That we know of, yeah.
Yeah, that we saw.
Yeah.
I can remember at least 5. And then Derek just is so excited. Give me your MF and stars,
Yeah,
B.
like he was a Sneetch from Dr. Seuss. He was taking them
you
all.
F and puzzle.
Yeah.
It's in an interview. I got my lucky stars, like Lucky Charms.
Mm-hmm.
TJ informs us, Derek's now going to have the most stars, 4 of them.
We still don't know what that means.
Right. Still have not been told what the stars mean. Kellyanne, TJ just says to Sylvia, this will end your time here for now.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to MJ, you're a certified badass, which I'm okay with saying that. And I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Because that guy did go in. How many times? How many sabotages?
Yeah. But because
he won 3 eliminations?
Why is MJ constantly
2?
doing saying different things?
2 eliminations.
Brad's got a hard on for me. I telling other people I have nothing against Brad. I don't know why he's got this fire, blah, blah, blah. Brad's like, I already lit a fire. And then he says as he leaves, he's like, it wasn't personal, Brad. And I'm like, well, wait till the reunion because your one-on-ones is completely personal. You say, he's like, you're an a-hole and you're like, you're making bad decisions and I'm coming for you. Like, it wasn't personal. Like, okay, you just lost. And you're like, hey, Brad, by the way, it wasn't personal. Brad's like, I'm busy putting another rubber band in my beard. I don't know what you just said. So, like, what did you say, MJ? Because you're leaving. He's like, nothing. Just said it wasn't personal. And he's like, okay, maybe I'll see you at the reunion. I don't know.
Right. Well, and then I keep wanting to say Kellyanne. Then Sylvia's like, Kellyanne, it was, which Kellyanne's, I did it again. Sylvia posted today something about like, well, that's all folks, thankful for this opportunity. I love my life. I thought this was going to be a 2-week vacation. It became so much more. I love the game. I know, some of the things you see, something along the lines of, I know some of the things you see makes it look like there's a whole bunch of, drama, but like, I really do leave it here. Like, I wish everybody the best. Something like that. So I wonder if...
Well, of course you do, Sylvia. That's the way it works. Like,
but I wonder if even with MJ, and granted, this was like right when it happened, it's like, yeah, you're mad at the time, but it's like the dust settles and you're like, yeah, I don't really have anything against him.
I don't think they have anything except for that whatever last season MJ won. But you don't need to do that over and over again and then just be like, you can deal with that later. Be like, oh, it's nothing personal on the way out. Because we just saw 2 people be like, F you, Kellyanne. Like, right. So it doesn't really, you're like, whoa. Wait, you guys aren't really on this, because they're not on the same page. They're not in the same library.
Right.
So it's, I don't know. It's just one of those things like,
maybe it is literally like the clock stops, the horn goes, and he's like, it's over for him. Like he emotionally can just be able to be.
No, he's a competitor. He played football at Vanderbilt, and he does all these other things. There's no way that MJ could ever just turn it off. He is ultimate competitor. He is always competing. He has told us that. I'm just, Sarah, watch the show.
I don't have a hard on for him like you do.
I don't have a hard on either. Maybe it was that soft spot that I had early in the episode when I was like, I think I'm cheering for him. And I'm like, no.
I like Derek, and I was happy with whoever was going to win this one.
Sure.
It didn't bother me either way. But we were definitely wrong in our prediction about him hurting himself worse, which I'm okay with. Glad he didn't super hurt
for
himself.
Sure, I think that was going to happen, yeah.
So happy about that. Who do you think won the episode?
It's Kellyanne. I think you do too. I truly believe you do too.
Yes.
I don't think you're going to argue either way. By listening to you talk and driving over here to record this, I was like, I really think it's Kellyanne. And I was waiting if you were going to say something else, but I've listened to every word you said, and I don't think you're going to argue with me on this.
Honorable mention, Naya.
Okay. Distant.
She knew what she was doing with telling that to Kellyanne, and she won the elimination. But yeah, Kellyanne won. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She twisted the game upside down and she overcame her nervousness about puzzles too.
And she held her own against Sylvia.
Mm-hmm.
She went in with Brad, and Brad's talking gibberish, whatever. So I'm not going to do that thing where I choke myself again. And she's like, "This is what I want." And even when Sylvia's saying things like, in the arena, she's like, "Okay." And now she holds 2 sabotages, and that goes right into do the math there. This is episode.
Well, she holds 1 sabotage, just the last sabotage.
I thought they had the next 2 sabotages. You said.
Like Brad gets a sabotage, she gets a sabotage.
Oh, okay. Anyway, the last sabotage. But yeah, it's going into something else. So I truly believe that, although I don't know what, again, one more time, heavy metal poisoning or whatever else. Is that what it was?
Heavy metal and mold.
Yeah, mold. That doesn't sound good.
No.
I think this is hands down. She wins this episode.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see what happens with her. I hope she stays a little longer. I hope she gets the final. Sylvia lost hard. Lost this episode. I usually root for her. I usually like her, even if she's aligned with people, a side of the house that maybe I'm not super rooting for. And I really don't have anything against the treehouse. I just, they were kind of like the queen bee, so it's like it makes everybody else the underdog. I usually am a fan of Sylvia. I did not like her this episode. I don't think it means she's a bad person. I don't think it means I'm not going to like her again, but it was not a good look this episode for her.
I think this sets up something for next episode, though. I think that we didn't see a lot of anybody else. The birthday party or whatever else, Veronica's boobs almost came out.
I liked that dress.
We didn't see much of
sleeves.
Veronica.
And she wore another. Okay, so remember I talked about that white top that she wore when she was in the Authority?
Yeah.
Okay, so she has that same top, but in blue.
Okay.
And I think that there's also another one maybe in black that she let Sylvia wear. I need to at her and find out where she got this shirt. Because here's why. It's so flattering. As a woman, most of us, unless we have crazy Cara Maria, really muscular arms that don't have any flab, we hate our arms.
Okay.
And women's shirts usually hit here, and it's the most unflattering angle. This hits just right above the elbow. It's such a flattering, cute top. So I've got to figure out where she got that top.
I'll take your word for that.
She got 3 of them.
Yeah. I'm just saying that there wasn't a lot of Veronica. That's the one thing.
Best dressed. She was best dressed for me.
I think I'm going to go with that as well. I think next episode will be Kayla's coming out party.
Yeah.
I think she is going to the treehouse. She's going to have their revenge or whatever else. And we'll talk about the title soon.
Oh, yeah.
But I think she was very quiet in this, and you cannot ever forget about her as a competitor, especially with who's left here. And so I think that might be a very interesting one coming forward.
True. And it's trivia, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
I love trivia so much. TJ's laugh is going to win the episode. TJ's laugh is going to win the episode next week.
You're calling your shot right now.
Calling my shot.
Yeah, and who is left I don't know.
Of the men, it's all the men that pretty much are working together, and then Jordan. And no offense, men, but ain't nobody want to see Jordan in an elimination. Yeah. So I don't know they're going to have to start turning on each other.
So I already said Kayla, but trivia should be up there with Wes, though. Of everyone that's left, right?
Mark, maybe?
No, I'm sorry. No.
Brad's pretty smart. Nehemiah's smart. I mean, they're all maybe not.
No.
Well, it doesn't it just depends on what questions you get asked, too. It's you could be asked something insanely difficult, and then I get asked, what's Sleeping Beauty's name? which that actually happened. It was like, you know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
like you're not asked like the same level of, you know what I
Great.
mean? It's
Now
just
I'm not
kind of
gonna be
luck
able
of
to
the
sleep
draw.
tonight. Thank you.
It's Aurora.
Oh, okay. What's Cinderella's real name?
It's something Ella because
It's just Ella.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So anyway, follow us for more trivia tips for your next trivia night.
We're fantastic.
Yeah.
We would make it. We'd be like the second person out.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have a nomination for a new episode title.
Okay. One more time. The title is
Revenge of the All-Stars.
okay.
Derek says this, but it works on a couple levels. Redemption Puzzle. Redemption Puzzle. Kellyanne's Redemption Puzzle. Derek there at the end with the Redemption Puzzle.
All right. I'll co-sign that.
Before he said that, I was going to call it Puzzle Dub, like our man CT called it. When he
Yeah.
won. But then
I don't like the revenge. Yeah.
But then when he said Redemption Puzzle, I was like, yes.
Yep. Good job. That's it. Yep. That's the one. That's a really good one.
Thanks. Cringeworthy moment.
What was it for me? Was it the conversation between Sylvia and Kellyanne?
That was uncomfortable. Absolutely.
It was almost like you're bridging a gap, but you're like they're neither side are going to get there, and
Yeah.
that was a little bit it.
There was also a moment where Derek's like celebrating and he's like running around and he almost like trips over something.
Yeah, and then
Nehemiah's like $5 he gets injured celebrating.
Yeah, that
Just
was
to
pretty
Wes
good.
quietly. That was cute.
They'll both. I mean, well, Kellyanne's dance after doing it was like the Elaine from Seinfeld, so that was cringeworthy. Even Nia winning was a little bit cringeworthy. Derek was definitely cringeworthy in that time, but honestly, if you go back to Kellyanne's dance afterwards, it was kind of cringeworthy. Yeah, but she won the episode, so we have to.
I've jumped the shark. I'm like a huge fan.
Okay,
so
well, yeah.
no, she can dance however she wants.
Sure.
Save all those dogs.
So she at you 3 times ever in her life, and now all of a sudden, like, that's my bestie. We're not doing this.
She didn't even at me. I added her.
Yeah, she's going to rescue every dog ever.
All the
and I
dogs.
love her, and that we're all gonna be this dog sanctuary. So $500,000 should be given to her right now, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Every dog.
All the dogs.
All the dogs.
All the
Yeah.
dogs.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you think the most cringeworthy then? I think it's either Derek's dance or I think the couch moment, because the couch moment was never gonna get anywhere.
Derek jumping into the puzzle pieces after he lost, and he was like, "I hate puzzles."
Yeah.
That was kind of strange.
Or the champagne shower, just a full facial. That's all I could think about. Like he just took it. He just sat there and took it. He just took his facial right there for no reason.
Oh heavens! I mean, it was champagne.
Like, do it, Godfather.
Stop! Oh no! This is turned the wrong direction.
Derek overall is cringeworthy.
Oh, I
In the
feel like I'm
second half of the
sweating.
episode. Yeah.
This is not family anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What would bananas do? Anything?
What would bananas do is such a great question because I don't know where that goes. What would bananas do? There's just nothing in there where it's like a swerve to anything. So what would bananas have done in this episode that would have been different? Because there's no like Wes. Bananas would be different. Wes. There's no like Brad.
The party might have been a little more fun looking.
Yeah. There was no like in the party. There was no real like politicking like dudes wise.
We saw a couple people. Like Mark was talking to John A. Nehemiah
Bananas
was
would have
talking to
done exactly what
somebody.
Nia did. I'm sorry, that's it. Bananas would have said, "Did you hear what they said?" So,
Yeah.
Bananas would have done exactly what Nia did. That's got to be it. There's
Yeah.
nothing else really there. So,
Right. I do have just a tiny bit of tea.
sure, love it.
Not a whole lot. So I'm getting to this point on Twitter where they're talking about season 38 and there's a lot of potential spoilers, but we don't even know if they're spoilers yet. So I'm trying not to focus on it too much, but there's something that's been widely out there and you may have even seen it.
No.
Bananas sent someone a cameo like 3 days ago. And he's in like an SUV and Nani's in the back seat.
Okay.
So this leads me to believe one of two things. What everybody on the internet is saying is that means him and Nani were partners and they got eliminated like early.
Oh, and he got his phone.
Two would mean because he is who he is, maybe he potentially had some sort of contract where he got his phone for a certain period of time to like do his obligations for like Cameo and maybe his podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
I hope it's the second. I hope it's not that they got kicked off early because that would really suck.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this: that Cameo wasn't to me. My birthday is not.
No, you're in January.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Now I need to figure out how much it costs for a Cameo from Bananas.
I think I've looked it up before. He's pretty pricey. TJ's more pricey.
TJ's what? 4? No. No way anybody's that. I mean, Dan Scott from One Tree Hill is only like $75. That's about
What's
it.
Dan Scott from One
Paul
Tree?
Johansson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not paying.
What would be your magic number if somebody wanted a cameo from you, like for your time, for what is it, like about 2 minutes?
Yeah, $12.
$12.
Sure.
Why $12?
I don't know. I just like the number a little bit. I don't know. Like, yeah.
Oh, he's currently not
available. He's off because somebody MTV called him and were like, you got to get off Cameo right now because you're supposed to be doing whatever else. He's currently not available. So So we've just done something. There.
They also released a bunch of people that are on the cast for CBS The Challenge today. Some Big Brother people that I recognize but don't really know.
I need to look at this. I apologize. I did not come prepared for this part of it. Yeah.
And then there's, Survivor people and stuff.
Yeah.
Several people from the Cookout last season. The mom with the braids, real pretty, sweet.
Yeah.
I liked her. I watched like 2 episodes
that was
last
Tiffany.
season.
Her name was
and then there
Tiffany.
was the really handsome guy that I think he was either a personal trainer or a chef.
The lawyer guy?
Lawyer.
Yeah,
He's a lawyer. Why did
he end up winning?
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Good for him. Yay.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah.
Like, I just found out who won Big Brother like 6
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
No, like a year later.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
No, he's a good dude.
No, I liked him.
That should be fun.
I'll
watch it. Like I said, I'll give it 90 minutes.
And then the woman that had the bikini line, I think her name was Alyssa.
I think so,
or something like that. And then the woman that was with the guy with the curly hair, that she was from a couple seasons ago. She was a gymnast and a model, and then she quit gymnastics when she was in high school and became a pole vaulter. Remember that storyline? She's real pretty.
Yeah. That was with the lifeguard dude?
With the lifeguard dude.
That guy's a good guy, yeah. Good for them.
I wish he was on it,
Keep
though.
saying they're all good guys, yeah. I don't know if he's got it in him.
Brett Robinson is somebody that I always really liked.
Yeah.
I've been
liked him.
waiting for years. Like I started watching Big Brother a couple years ago, and I only watched a few seasons because one, you watched it, and I was like, I'll try this, and two, I'm like, it's like scouting for the challenge at this point.
Yeah, now
you know. And I was like, I love this Brett Robinson guy. I hope they've at least called him and he said no.
Yeah.
Jemmy also made a really good point on Mark Long's podcast this week. She said, well, Brad was on it too. They were on like at the same time. And they're like, how do you guys feel about this? And Brad said, left out, which I thought was a great answer. And Jemmy said, okay, so here's the deal. Like, they get to be on the challenge, but why can't, like, I go be on Big Brother? Like, it's like it works one way, but it doesn't work back the other way.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like she also said, she's like, like Darrell, wouldn't he be great to watch on Survivor? Or, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's a great point. And especially
like it only works the one way.
She's right, because forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't think she does have a husband or a fiance or kids at home. So she's got the time. So she's right. Like, why can't I go there? I am a personality, and she would be good on there.
She would be great.
So that's a really, really good point out of her. The one that I wouldn't see at all. I mean, if you go back to...
I hadn't thought about it either. I was like, that's a brilliant point.
Yeah, they can't keep piggybacking off of, other shows and not, like, use the challenge people. Because, yeah, there's the challenge and there's All-Stars, and you don't want to ever feel like you're being put out to the pasture. You want to feel like you're part of the whole family if everyone's doing
Right.
it. So good for her, and she's right. And now I'm like all on board. I'd rather see her on Big Brother.
Mhm.
You know what?
She might win like favorite house guest.
Yeah, I don't know who else.
Or is that what they call it? Favorite house guest?
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, my admiration for Bananas, yours for Wes. I do think she'd be good in that show. I don't think those two would be good in it. They'd overpower too much, and they'd be like, "You are out."
Yeah.
Where I do think she can relate to other people, but now we're going down a Big Brother
Weird rabbit hole, yeah.
Yeah, but good call by her.
Right?
Yeah.
What else you got for me?
Nothing. You don't have any more tea or anything like that?
Oh, one more.
Okay.
Leroy and Cam's baby was born.
Okay.
Kingston. He was born a couple weeks ago. They waited to post.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't shown a picture of his face yet. They just kind of want to wait. Full head of hair. Head of like curly hair. It's so cute.
Gotcha.
So congratulations to them.
And there's a behind the scenes
Oh my
challenge
gosh,
coming
I
up?
cannot wait. So I've heard about it for a while, but they finally did the preview on the MTV Movie Awards, which I saw the thing on Twitter. And CT opened up, he was the person to present it.
Mm-hmm.
He looked just charming as always. It's like every
Yeah.
time I see him, and I haven't seen him for a while, it's just like, I just love CT.
Mm-hmm. He is, yeah.
Yeah.
He's cute. Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, it's going to be out. I think they said it's coming right before Challenge 38.
So we'll be
right
on
before-
MTV. We'll be on Paramount. Like, what do we?
I
what do
think
we look at?
MTV.
Okay.
And Kim Kardashian's randomly in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the behind the scenes thing, but really like
It's like a behind the music is how I take it. It's like you got a bunch of people being interviewed, and then they show you clips,
mm-hmm.
and then like that.
yeah, how the challenge came to be, the whole thing. But if it's overproduced, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm all in.
I'll watch it.
This is like so
I'll
my
watch
thing.
it, but
This
I'm
is
telling
so
you,
my
it's
thing.
gonna be more geared. MTV gets to produce it any way they want to, instead of like having like someone else come outside and do things.
True.
That's
Well, and a lot of people are buzzing that they're really frustrated that Cara is not in it.
oh, okay. So do you know how many people have been on the challenge over the years, and you have one person that?
I mean, she was
Why?
kind of a big part of the show.
Sure, but like, what's the big deal of the whole thing? Like, because she's crazy with her boyfriend on TikTok or whatever else. Like,
Mhm.
I don't care.
They have her on like a lot of the, challenges that are on Paramount Plus. She's like the face on the cover.
Sure.
So, I mean, they're going to put her face on it, and then they're not going to call her to be on the star. And
There's got to be a reason.
Maybe they
she's a
did, and she
butthole
was
about
like,
the whole thing, or whatever else.
could be.
Yeah.
Maybe she like refused to do it. Maybe she like it didn't work out scheduling wise.
Yeah.
But people are
She's got a lot of
tweeting
cameos
about
to
it.
do. I don't know. Yeah. So. Anyway,
That all you
good
got?
episode.
Great episode. Looking
We
forward to
said
next
it was going to
week.
happen, and it's going to. I think it's only get better. Trivia, like you said, TJ's
my
laugh.
favorite.
You called your shot. TJ's laugh's going to win the episode. Maybe we'll figure it out, but it's going to be. It's only going to get better. So we're going to be at episode 7.
Episode 7.
8, 9, 10, and then
I think there's 10, but then when I go on IMDb, I only can see up until episode 8. Like there's not like it's not like it says 7, 8, and 7 and 8 are titled and dated, and then it just says 9, 10 with nothing. It just there's nothing after 8. So I'm wondering if there's only 8 episodes and we thought there were 10.
I don't know.
I hope not.
Because one more.
It's like getting the rug
maybe
pulled
one more
out from under me.
sabotage, Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause now
10
there's-
makes more sense.
Now there's 12 people left, so it'll get
I
down
was
to
up
10
after
next
midnight
week.
last night, and I was trying to pull up this episode. I'm like, God, I knew it. I know it's not till 2 o'clock, but yeah, didn't happen for me.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. Congratulations, Paramount Plus, for putting the Pride logo on there. I like that.
Oh, it is kind of
That's
cool.
nice,
I like that.
So yeah, it was a good episode, and we called it. We said the second half of the series is going to be it's going to bring it home.
Culmination.
Yeah, they know what they're doing,
Absolutely.
and we're right here for it every time, every week.
Always.
Yeah.
Well, follow us on Twitter, Final Alliance 1, on Instagram, Final Alliance, on YouTube. We are Final Alliance Podcast, and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. We are Final Alliance Podcast. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, for that whole hour of her week. Just thinking, fuck this noise. That guy comes over. He's nice. He pets me for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, no one pays attention to me. That's what she's howling about.
Dude, we got her new bark box today, and like I was thinking about canceling it because I'm like, she has too many toys. And then this month, the toys are freaking awesome. It's Jurassic Park. So they're like little dinosaur toys. I'm like, okay, these are fucking awesome. This is worth my $30. And the treats. The treats are good. She likes the treats. Charlie likes the treats for it too.